How to heal a broken heart after a divorce. Are you struggling to heal a broken heart? Are you still caught in feelings of injustice, frustration, anger, or self-loathing, and thinking, how the hell will I ever be able to feel worthy again? I'm going to share with you the most important thing that you can do to heal. The first thing you need to do to get through this, stick with me to hear how I developed what I call dailies. For me, this was the biggest game changer. I'm James Burnham, and I'm a fear coach. And I guide people through painful experiences in their life by using fear as a navigation tool. This is what I do to face my fear, to heal my broken heart.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
The first thing that I had to do was take the time to mourn, to feel the pain of loss, not run from it. Healing a broken heart after a divorce is really about feeling worthy again, and you've got to give yourself time. It can be hard. We want to get up and move. We want to go. We want to be back on our feet and in that place, but it takes time. And you got to give yourself the patience and the space you need to recover. The second thing that you do is own your part. This can be difficult to do. There's a lot of frustration and anger that happens when a divorce starts to bring you two apart. You who have been together for so long and were had each other's backs. Your most intimate partner is now your enemy. John Gottman talks about it. He says that in this early stage, you got to be really careful because you literally will have a visceral response in the presence of your partner. Your heart rate will rise to 100 beats a minute. You actually see them as an enemy. And in that space, in that fight or flight space, it is difficult to retract from that and retract from the blame you want to cast and own the fact that you have a part in this. Stick to that space and you'll find more peace. The third thing, and this is what really helped me, was a practice of daily activities. I called them my dailies. During the course of my divorce, it happened right before COVID. As I know many people that were in this situation, we struggled. We were isolated, we were alone. I wasn't able to see my kids. I wasn't able to see any members of my family. The shutdown was complete. I was living in a terrible, dingy little place because I was trying to save money so that we could sort out the finances. And it was hard. It was really hard. I didn't even have a bed. I was sleeping on a couch in a little studio in the grungiest part of Salt Lake City. And I would feed the homeless every day because they would hang out outside my house and they were people that I could talk to. And I would let them watch my car so nobody would break into it. It was a good exchange. They talked to me, I got human contact, I gave them some food, nobody broke into my car. It was nice, but it wasn't fun and it wasn't easy. And I would sit in this place, unable to go to work, unable to do anything, and feel that loss and mourn that loss and wonder how I would get through it. And I knew I had to get going or I'd get lost in all of that. And so I established for myself a few things that I would absolutely accomplish every day because it was so overwhelming that there were days I just wanted to lay in bed and never get out. My first thing was I had to read something uplifting for 30 minutes. Then I had to meditate for 30 minutes. I would exercise for 30 minutes. For me, that meant going for a run. I did something as simple as I could so that I had no excuses. And I would just go run outside to get the air, fill it in my lungs, just feel the sun on my skin. And then the last thing I did was write. I wrote my thoughts. I actually ended up writing a book through COVID because I had a lot to say. I had a lot on my mind. And I think these things allowed me, if I could, when I got through them, I actually, many days, ended up doing much more in that day than I thought I would accomplish. Many times I'd wake up and think, I can't do anything, but I stuck to my dailies. I would do them. And sometimes that was the only thing I accomplished that day. And when that was the case, I'd give myself the space to mourn. I'd give myself the comfort I needed. I wouldn't beat myself up. That practice of dailies kind of changed everything for me because it gave me momentum. It allowed me to see that I could continue in my life. And the things that I read, the things that I meditated on, things that I wrote, all of it worked towards healing myself. Now, I wouldn't say that it immediately healed my heart. It didn't. It became a process. I had better days and I had worse days. But I also began to reframe my divorce, what I considered a massive failure and an embarrassment. I reframed to a learning opportunity. And I heard somebody say this to me one time. They said, you know what? I don't call it divorce. I call it a graduation from a relationship. I really like that. When you graduate from something, you have learned a certain amount and you move on to the next space. When I graduated from high school, which honestly, it was barely graduation. I wasn't sure if I was going to get through. It was an opportunity for me to start again. I could take what I had learned from my schooling, and I went into university with a whole new mind frame. I didn't look at myself as a failure. I looked at myself as somebody that had graduated. This is a great way to look at your divorce. What did you learn? What did you process in the graduation of that? And the last part is learning to feel self-worth again. When you have begun to reframe this, you've given yourself the space to overcome, you've got yourself moving again, and you are able to understand that this is just a part of life, and you'll realize that so many of us have gone through it before. You begin to find a community again. You begin to understand that this is part of living. And honestly, if you can embrace the exquisite pain and know that this is something that is teaching you, it changes your whole perspective on how you face this world that is new without the person that you thought you were going to be with forever. And it allows you to then know that, man, my heart can overcome this. My heart is expansive enough to accept that this rejection is not a complete and utter ending of all things that are love in your life. There is love to be found in many ways. And if you will practice these steps, just lean into them, allow the process to take its time, whatever that time is, it'll get better. I promise it will get better. But don't run from it. Lean into it. I still feel sometimes like my heart is broken. It's been over 2 years. I don't know how long it takes, but mostly I feel good. So if you like this video on how to heal your broken heart, you might also like this one, how to heal from a friendship breakup. There's some really cool techniques that you could use in there that would be an asset to you if you're going through this process. Like, subscribe, click on the bell, don't miss any content. I'd love to have your opinions on what you do to heal your broken heart, or ask some questions if you're facing a difficult time. I understand, I'd love to hear from you. My name's James Burnham. Thanks for hanging out with me. And if you feel like you need some coaching or something to put you through, you can check out my website, www.jamesgburnham.com. Book a free appointment with me. We can start a discussion about coaching. See if it works for you. Here's that next video. Come on, you know you want to watch it.